The Galactic Academy buzzed with excitement as news of the new students spread like wildfire. For centuries, the Academy had prided itself on its diverse student body, representing dozens of sentient species across the galaxy. But this year, a unique addition stirred both intrigue and anxiety. The Deathworlders, humans from a planet known for its harsh environment and fierce creatures. Zara, a Glorian with shimmering, iridescent skin and large, expressive eyes, sat in her usual spot at the front of the lecture hall. Her heart raced as she watched fellow students whisper and point at the entrance. She had heard rumors about humans, stories of their bravery and resilience, but also tales of their reckless nature. The thought of sharing a classroom with such beings filled her with equal parts curiosity and dread. When the doors swung open, 5 humans strode in, exuding an air of casual confidence. The tallest among them, a muscular young man with tousled brown hair, flashed a wide grin, showcasing a collection of mismatched teeth. Zara's gaze locked onto him as he raised a hand in greeting, his smile infectious despite her apprehension. "Hey, everyone. We're the Deathworlders. I'm Jax, and these are my friends," he declared, waving his hand to include the others, who stood beside him looking equally at ease. Behind him, a petite girl with vibrant purple hair, a lanky fellow with glasses, a calm-looking woman, and a broad-shouldered student filled the space. Each wore the unmistakable emblem of their home planet, a simple symbol that meant survivor in galactic standard. The teacher, a stern, three-eyed alien named Professor Grilka, adjusted her glasses. "Welcome, Deathworlders. I trust you will introduce your pets during our cultural exchange session next week." Her tone was skeptical, the word pets dripping with doubt. Zara shared a glance with her friend Tarek, a boisterous Ulak who thrived on chaos. Tarek's eyes sparkled with mischief. He was clearly itching for an opportunity to tease the newcomers. "Absolutely. You're in for a treat," Jax replied, clearly unfazed by the skepticism. "We have some great animals back home. They're really different." As the lecture proceeded, Zara listened intently, trying to glean more about the humans. Jax's voice rang out over the classroom, recounting wild tales of Earth's creatures, giant bears that could crush a car and snakes that could swallow their prey whole. Her heart pounded as she imagined these beasts roaming freely on a planet teeming with dangers. When class ended, the other students gathered in clusters, murmuring about the Deathworlders. Zara felt a pull of curiosity, but it was quickly overshadowed by the collective nervousness that hung in the air. Would these humans truly bring their pets to class? What if they weren't pets at all but fearsome predators? "Do you think they'll really bring those creatures?" whispered Zara, her voice laced with anxiety. Tarek grinned, clearly entertained by the thought. "I hope so. Just imagine a rabid earth squirrel or something." As the chatter grew louder, Jax approached Zara, his bright demeanor cutting through her worries. "Hey, what do you think? You excited for Pet Day?" Zara hesitated, glancing at her friends before meeting his gaze. "Excited and terrified," she admitted, a nervous smile breaking through. "Terrified? Nah, you'll love it. Humans are all about bonds with our pets. They're like family," he said, leaning in conspiratorially. "You'll see. They're harmless, mostly." With that, Zora couldn't help but laugh, a sound that startled even her. In that moment, the walls of her apprehension began to crack, hinting at the thrilling chaos yet to come. Little did she know, the clash of cultures would spark a series of events that would forever change their perspectives and their lives. As the days passed, anticipation for Pet Day grew palpable among the students at the Galactic Academy. Posters adorned the walls, and spirited discussions echoed in the halls. Jax and his fellow Deathworlders became local celebrities, their boisterous laughter and carefree attitudes drawing curious glances from everyone. Yet as the date approached, Zara found herself torn between excitement and dread. On the morning of the cultural exchange class, the air was thick with a mix of tension and curiosity. Zara took her seat, her eyes darting toward the entrance, where she expected the humans to burst in with their chaotic energy. The professor, with her 3 glimmering eyes, stood at the front, flipping through a holographic tablet as she prepared for the day's lesson. Today, we will begin our first cultural exchange with our new friends from Earth, Professor Grilka announced, her voice authoritative yet tinged with skepticism. I expect everyone to be respectful and open-minded. That said, I must remind you that not all creatures from Earth are suitable companions. At this, Zara felt a wave of unease wash over her. She recalled Jax's earlier tales of bear-sized dogs and snakes that could easily coil around a person. What if one of them escaped during the presentation? The thought sent shivers down her spine. Just then, the doors swung open, and Jax sauntered in, a broad smile plastered across his face. Behind him, the other Deathworlders followed, each carrying a sturdy crate that rattled ominously with every step. Zara leaned forward, her heart pounding in her chest. "Hope everyone is ready for some fun," Jax exclaimed, glancing around the room. "We brought a little taste of Earth for you all. Can't wait for you to meet our pets." The professor raised an eyebrow, clearly still skeptical. "Let's proceed with caution, shall we?" she warned, gesturing for them to take their places at the front of the class. The Deathworlders began to unveil their crates, revealing a parade of creatures. A small terrier bounded out first, its tail wagging furiously. Zara couldn't help but smile as the little dog raced around the room, barking heavily. But her relief was short-lived. Next came Jax's Rottweiler, a muscular beast that trotted in like a furry tank, causing several students to gasp and scramble back in their seats. What is that?" whispered a nearby Vreth, his 4 eyes wide in shock. "That's a dog," Jax responded with pride. "One of the best companions we have on Earth. He's friendly, I promise." The creature barked loudly, and Zara could see that it was indeed friendly, but its size and energy were intimidating. The room buzzed with murmurs, and a few students shifted uneasily in their seats. Then came the snakes. One slithered out with an unsettling grace, coiling around Jax's arm. The sight sent a ripple of fear through the crowd, and Zara felt a wave of sympathy for the little Glorian girl in the back who was now pale as a starship hull. "Look, this one's named Slippy," Jax continued, his enthusiasm unshaken. "He's a corn snake, perfectly harmless." "Harmless," a trembling voice called out from the back. "What if it decides to?" "Relax," Jax interrupted, chuckling. "I've got it under control. These guys are more scared of you than you are of them." Zara exchanged a glance with Tarek, who was grinning ear to ear, clearly enjoying the commotion. "This is gonna be great," he whispered, barely able to contain his laughter. As the introductions continued, Zara couldn't help but notice that while the aliens were clearly terrified, they were also fascinated. Jax's infectious energy and the charm of the pets created an unexpected bridge between cultures. But as the final creature was revealed, a tarantula, which caused yet another wave of gasps and murmurs, Zara felt her own apprehension bubbling to the surface. Would this chaotic display bring them together, or would it only drive them further apart? With a knot of uncertainty in her stomach, she prepared for the pet day ahead, realizing that the true challenge was just beginning. Pet Day had finally arrived, and the Galactic Academy was abuzz with anticipation and anxiety. Zara stood in front of her mirror, adjusting her shimmering robes, the iridescent fabric reflecting her mixed emotions. What would happen when the Deathworlders unleashed their pets on the classroom? She took a deep breath, reminding herself that she needed to face her fears. As she entered the lecture hall, the atmosphere was electric. Students clustered in groups, some excitedly discussing the impending chaos, while others sat in fearful silence. At the front of the room, Jax and his friends were setting up their crates, an air of mischief surrounding them. Zara caught sight of the Rottweiler, now wearing a goofy bowdy, wagging its tail as if it were ready for a party. "Hey, Zara," Jax called out, his enthusiasm undiminished. "You ready for some fun?" "Depends on your definition of fun," she replied, her voice tinged with apprehension. The professor, looking more apprehensive than usual, stepped forward. "Let's proceed with caution," she reiterated, shooting Jack's a pointed look. "Remember, these are not ordinary pets. They are Deathworld pets," Jax interrupted, grinning. "They're like nothing you've ever seen." With a flourish, he opened the first crate. A wave of excitement surged through the room as a small, hyperactive terrier burst forth, dashing around in circles. Laughter erupted as the dog leaped up to greet students, its enthusiasm contagious. Zara felt a smile tugging at her lips as the Rottweiler followed suit, bounding across the floor with an endearing clumsiness. But then came the snakes. Jax uncoiled a corn snake from his arm and held it aloft. The classroom erupted into gasps and shrieks as the snake writhed in the air, glistening under the artificial lights. Zara instinctively flinched, her heart racing as a few students ducked under their desks. "Calm down. It's just a snake," Jax called, attempting to soothe the crowd. "Slippy here is a sweetheart. He just wants to make friends." "Make friends?" shrieked a nearby Taran student, his 6 eyes wide with horror. "That thing could eat me whole." "No way. You're way too big for Slippy," Jack said, laughing. "He prefers small snacks, like—" "Enough," Professor Grilka interjected, her voice rising above the chaos. "This is a classroom, not a zoo. Let's keep this organized, or—" Before she could finish, the Rottweiler dashed past her, tail wagging wildly, and collided into a group of students. The resulting commotion sent desks scattering, and a Glorian student squealed as she narrowly avoided a collision. The room erupted into chaos as students scrambled to avoid the stampede of exuberant pets. Zara stood frozen, caught between laughter and sheer panic. Jax was in the thick of it, chasing after his dog, trying to regain control. "Come back, buddy. We're just having fun," he shouted, his grin unwavering despite the mayhem. "Fun? This is a disaster," Professor Grilka exclaimed, her patience wearing thin as she attempted to restore order. Just then, the corn snake made its escape, slithering off Jax's arm and disappearing beneath a nearby desk. A chorus of gasps filled the room as students jumped back, chairs screeching against the floor. "Where'd it go?" someone yelled. Zara's heart raced. "This is it, total meltdown," she thought. But then she noticed something. As students panicked, the energy in the room shifted. Laughter broke out amidst the chaos. Tarek was grinning widely, making jokes about the Rottweiler's antics, while others pointed and laughed at the frantic human trying to catch it. As the Rottweiler darted around, it suddenly stopped in front of Zara, panting heavily. She couldn't help but laugh, realizing that this massive creature was just a big, goofy dog wanting to play. Summoning her courage, she reached out a hand, feeling the warmth of its fur beneath her fingertips. "Okay, maybe this isn't so bad," she thought, the initial fear fading. In that moment, she felt a spark of camaraderie growing, not just among the humans, but among all the students as they shared in the delightful chaos. The classroom, once filled with apprehension, was now alive with laughter and unexpected connections, paving the way for an unforgettable day. Amidst the cacophony of barking, laughter, and the occasional yelp of surprise, the classroom had transformed into a scene of delightful chaos. The Rottweiler, now affectionately dubbed Tank by Jax, was racing from student to student, each encounter met with a mixture of fear and joy. Zara found herself laughing along, the tension from earlier dissipating into the warm air of the room. "All right, everyone. Let's take a moment to regain some control." Professor Grilka's voice cut through the noise, firm yet tinged with amusement. "Deathworlders, if you could kindly gather your pets." Jax, still flushed with excitement, nodded vigorously. Okay. Come on, Tank. Time to show them your tricks." He clapped his hands, and the Rottweiler halted mid-bark. Turning to face him, tongue lolling out in a goofy grin. As the students began to settle down, Zara found herself drawn into Jax's infectious enthusiasm. She watched as he demonstrated a series of simple commands with Tank, who obeyed with surprising grace for such a large creature. The Rottweiler sat, rolled over, and even did a clumsy spin, prompting applause from the audience. Zara clapped enthusiastically, a sense of pride swelling within her. "See, he's a big softy," Jax said, beaming at the students. "All he wants is some love and attention." As Tank flopped down beside Jax, panting happily, Zara felt her own apprehension ebbing away. She glanced at the snake, which had emerged from its hiding place under a desk. With newfound courage, she stepped forward. "What about the other pets?" she asked, her voice more confident. "Oh, right. This is Slippy," Jax said, retrieving the corn snake and holding it up for everyone to see. "He's harmless. And trust me, he's really friendly." Zara stepped closer, watching as Jax gently draped the snake over his shoulders. "Would anyone like to try?" he offered, his gaze scanning the crowd. Hesitantly, students began to raise their hands, curiosity overtaking their fear. One brave Taran student stepped forward, her 6 eyes focused intently on the snake. With Jax's encouragement, she tentatively reached out and touched Slippy's smooth scales. "It's kind of warm," she said, a look of surprise crossing her features. The tension in the room shifted again, this time toward a growing sense of intrigue. "See, not so scary." Jax grinned, clearly enjoying the moment. "These creatures can teach us a lot about trust and companionship. Back on Earth, we rely on them in ways you can't imagine." As more students approached, Zara watched with fascination. Each hesitant touch was met with laughter and encouragement, breaking down barriers. Jax shared stories about his childhood pets, weaving tales of companionship that resonated with the aliens. The more Zara listened, the more she realized that these creatures weren't just pets. They were an integral part of the Deathworlders' identities. Feeling emboldened, Zara finally approached Jax. "Can I hold Slippy?" she asked, her heart racing. Jax's eyes lit up with excitement. "Of course. Here, let me show you how." He carefully placed the snake in her hands, guiding her movements. Zara felt the cool, smooth body of the snake slide gently over her arms, her initial fear replaced with awe. "It feels different," she murmured, mesmerized by the creature's grace. "I never imagined I'd hold a snake." "Exactly," Jax replied, his enthusiasm infectious. "We all have different experiences, and sharing them helps us understand each other better." As more students gathered around, each taking turns with the snake or the terrier, Zara felt the collective spirit of curiosity and courage filling the room. The initial chaos of Pet Day was morphing into something beautiful, a shared experience that transcended their differences. With laughter ringing through the air, Zara realized that the Deathworlders and their pets had become a bridge, connecting students from worlds apart. The classroom buzzed with excitement, and she knew that this was just the beginning of an extraordinary journey, one where fear transformed into friendship. As Pet Day unfolded into a whirlwind of laughter and learning, an unexpected twist sent the classroom into another frenzy. Just as Zara began to feel at ease with the pets, a sudden commotion erupted at the back of the room. Jax's eyes widened in horror as he realized that Tank, the Rottweiler, had decided to make a break for it. "Tank!" "No!" Jax shouted, but it was too late. The Rottweiler bolted out the classroom door, tail wagging wildly as he dashed into the corridor, completely unfazed by the startled cries of students behind him. "After him!" Jax yelled, leaping into action. Zara felt her heart race as she joined the throng of students racing after the exuberant dog, a mix of excitement and fear propelling her forward. They burst into the hallway, and Tank's joyful barks echoed off the walls as he rounded a corner, oblivious to the chaos he left behind. Jax skidded to a halt, scanning the area. "We need to catch him before he gets into trouble." Zara could see panic etched on the faces of her classmates, but something in Jax's determination inspired her. "Let's split up," she suggested. "We can cover more ground." "Good idea." Jax nodded, already turning to grab the attention of others. "You guys take the left corridor, and we'll go right." With that, the students scattered, each group determined to find Tank. Zara joined Jax and a few others as they dashed down the right corridor, calling out the Rottweiler's name. "Tank, come here, boy," Zara shouted, her voice ringing with urgency. The hallway was alive with the sounds of scrambling feet and frantic calls. They rushed past classrooms, peering in to see if Tank had made himself a nuisance in any of them. In one room, they found a group of bewildered art students staring at a mess of scattered paint and dog paw prints. "Not here," Zara called, her heart racing. Just as they turned the corner into the library, they heard a commotion. The sound of joyous barks echoed within, drawing them closer. They pushed through the heavy doors, only to be greeted by a scene of utter chaos. Tank was playfully darting between tables, sending books tumbling as startled students shrieked in surprise. "Tank!" Jax exclaimed, a mix of relief and exasperation flooding his features. "Get over here." Zara chuckled despite the chaos. "He's just being a big goofball," she said, her initial panic melting into laughter. It was hard to stay serious when faced with the sight of a massive Rottweiler gleefully appending an entire stack of textbooks. "Don't let him escape," a nearby librarian yelled, her expression a blend of shock and amusement. In an instant, Jax concocted a plan. "We need to lure him out. Zara, can you grab some treats from my bag? He loves snacks." Zara sprinted to Jax's backpack, rummaging through it until she found a bag of treats. She raced back, holding them aloft. "Tank, treat time," she called, shaking the bag enticingly. The Rottweiler's ears perked up at the sound of the crinkling bag, and for a moment he paused, turning his attention toward them. It was a fleeting moment of hope. "Now, slowly," Jax instructed, inching forward. "Easy does it." Zara crouched low, extending her hand with a treat. "Come here, Tank. Good boy." The Rottweiler, drawn by the tantalizing scent, hesitated but then bounded over, tongue lolling out in sheer excitement. Jax quickly grabbed Tank's collar, laughing as the massive dog nearly knocked him over in his enthusiasm. "We got him," Jax shouted, relief flooding his voice. The library erupted in applause and laughter, students exchanging amused glances at the spectacle. As they made their way back to the classroom, Zara felt a sense of camaraderie with her peers. The earlier chaos had forged unexpected bonds among them, and now they shared in the joy of their victory. Back in the classroom, they reunited with the other students, recounting their adventure with Tank as they settled down. The day had started with uncertainty, but now it was brimming with laughter and stories, each pet and student intertwined in a web of shared experiences. Maybe having pets in class isn't such a bad idea after all, Zara thought, her heart swelling with warmth. The chaos had not only brought them closer, it had opened the door to understanding and friendship that transcended their differences, reminding them that sometimes the best connections came from the most unexpected situations. As the excitement of the search and rescue faded, the atmosphere in the classroom shifted from chaos to reflection. The students gathered around Jax and his pets, who were now comfortably settled on the floor. The room hummed with chatter, laughter still bubbling up as everyone recounted the antics of Tank and the escape of Slippy. "Okay, everyone, let's take a moment to discuss what just happened," Professor Grilka interjected, her tone both serious and compassionate. While today has been a wonderful demonstration of the cultural exchange, it also highlighted an important aspect of pet ownership, responsibility. Zara noticed that the initial laughter subsided as students shifted in their seats, the gravity of the professor's words sinking in. Jax nodded, his expression shifting to one of earnestness. "She's right. It's not just about having fun. Owning pets means taking care of them and ensuring their safety, as well as the safety of those around them. What do you mean? A curious breath asked, tilting his head in confusion. They seem so wild and carefree. Exactly, Jax replied, a twinkle in his eye. But even wild animals need structure. On Earth, we train our pets to follow commands and behave in public spaces. It's part of making sure everyone has a good time, including the pets. Zara felt a pang of realization. While she had been enchanted by Tank and Slippy's antics, she hadn't considered the potential chaos their presence could cause. So what's the best way to take care of them? She asked, eager to learn more. Great question, Jax responded, a smile spreading across his face. It starts with understanding their needs. Dogs need exercise, mental stimulation, and social interaction. Snakes require proper habitats and handling. Each pet has different requirements, and that's our responsibility. Zara watched as students leaned in, absorbing every word. This wasn't just a lecture about pets, it was a lesson in empathy and respect for other living beings. It reminded her of the way her own family cared for their Glorian animals, ensuring they had the right environment to thrive. What about the animals we have? A hesitant Taran student spoke up, his multiple eyes blinking curiously. Are they different? Absolutely, Jax affirmed, turning his attention to the diverse array of pets represented in the classroom. For example, your benthic creatures might need more moisture or a different type of food. The key is to learn what they need to be happy and healthy. As Jax shared stories of his experiences growing up with pets, Zara found herself inspired. He spoke of the mistakes he had made and the lessons learned, like the time he accidentally let Tank eat a whole pizza. The way he recounted it, laughter intermingled with the lessons, illustrating that mistakes were part of the journey. But it's also about understanding boundaries, Jax continued, growing more serious. When Tank ran off, it was a reminder that even our best friends can make impulsive decisions. It's our job to guide them and keep them safe. The discussion deepened as students shared their own stories of caring for their pets, each tale revealing a glimpse into their unique cultures. Zara felt a sense of unity forming in the room, where their differences melded into a shared experience. The presence of the Deathworlders had sparked an important dialogue that transcended mere curiosity. As the class wrapped up, Professor Grilka smiled, a rare sight for her usually stern demeanor. Today has shown us that while our creatures may differ, our responsibility toward them unites us. We must care for them with the same compassion we hope to receive ourselves. Zara felt a surge of warmth, realizing how much had changed since the first day of class. The Deathworlders, with their wild pets, had not only bridged cultural gaps but had also opened hearts and minds to the beauty of shared experiences. As the students gathered their things, ready to leave, Zara caught Jax's eye. "Thank you for today," she said sincerely. "I never thought I'd learn so much from a Rottweiler." Jax grinned, a sense of pride radiating from him. "Anytime. And remember, pets are just the beginning. We can learn so much from each other, too." With that, Zara left the classroom, her heart lighter and her mind buzzing with new ideas. Pet Day had become a pivotal moment, teaching lessons of responsibility, empathy, and the strength of community, and she couldn't wait to see what lay ahead in this newfound friendship with the Deathworlders. The following week, the Galactic Academy buzzed with renewed energy. The students had decided to host a special cultural exchange day, inspired by the chaotic but enlightening Pet Day. This time, the focus would shift from pets to the rich tapestry of their diverse cultures, allowing each species to share its traditions and unique customs. Zara arrived early, excitement fluttering in her chest. She set up her booth, adorned with colorful banners representing her Glorian heritage. She had prepared traditional delicacies, including sweet fruit skewers and delicate pastries, all carefully crafted with her family's recipes. The aroma wafted through the air, drawing attention from curious students. As the event began, groups of students gathered, eager to share their own cultures. Jax and his friends had promised to present a segment on Earth's customs, which had created a buzz of anticipation. Zara watched as the Deathworlders set up their booth, decorated with photographs of Earth's landscapes and vibrant cultural festivals. "Hey, Zara," Jax called, waving enthusiastically as he spotted her. "Ready for the big day?" "Absolutely. Your booth looks amazing," she replied, admiring the colorful displays that showcased everything from Earth's wildlife to its food and music. As the event kicked off, students moved from booth to booth, each offering a glimpse into their world. Zara relished the variety. A group of Taran showcased their musical instruments, mesmerizing the crowd with haunting melodies. The Ulaks performed traditional dances, their movements fluid and captivating. When it was finally time for the Deathworlders presentation, Zara felt a thrill of anticipation. Jax stepped up to the front, his infectious energy radiating through the room. "All right, everyone. We're here to share a slice of Earth with you. Get ready for some fun." As he began to speak, Jax introduced each aspect of Earth culture, starting with its rich culinary traditions. "First up, we have pizza." He gestured dramatically to a large pizza that his friend, the purple-haired girl named Mia, had brought along. "This is a classic. Everyone loves it." Zara watched as students eagerly lined up to taste the pizza, their faces lighting up with delight. The mingling of flavors transported them all to a bustling Earth pizzeria, the joy of shared food bridging the cultural gaps. Next, Jax introduced a popular Earth game called Tag. This is a simple game where one person chases others, and if you're touched, you're it. He explained, his excitement contagious. The students cheered, and soon the corridor was filled with laughter as they played. Zara joined in, her heart soaring as she ran alongside her classmates, the boundaries between their species dissolving in the joy of movement and shared laughter. As the games wound down, Jax shifted gears, bringing out musical instruments, including guitars and a small drum. "Let's share some Earth music. This song is a classic," he announced, strumming a catchy tune. Zara recognized the melody, her heart swelling with nostalgia. It reminded her of the gatherings her family held, where music filled the air and stories were shared. She stepped forward, encouraging others to join her, and soon they were all singing together, harmonizing beautifully despite their differences. Afterward, students returned to their booths, exchanging ideas and experiences. Zara found herself at the Taran booth, chatting animatedly with the musicians. "You have such a unique sound. Can you teach me to play that instrument?" she asked, pointing at a beautifully crafted flute. "Of course," the Taran replied, beaming. "And I'd love to learn about your pastries." As the day progressed, Zara marveled at the connections forming all around her. Jax moved from booth to booth, making friends and sharing stories, embodying the spirit of cultural exchange. Each conversation deepened their understanding, fostering a newfound respect for their diverse backgrounds. When the event began to wind down, Zara stood back and took it all in, the laughter, the camaraderie, the sense of community that had blossomed from the initial chaos of Pet Day. The Deathworlders had not only introduced their pets, but had opened the door to a world of shared experiences and understanding. As the sun set, casting a warm glow over the academy, Zara felt a sense of hope. This journey of connection was just beginning, and she couldn't wait to explore the adventures that lay ahead. The bonds formed today promised to transcend the boundaries of their differences, uniting them in ways they had yet to fully comprehend. The sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden hue over the Galactic Academy, and the echoes of laughter and music lingered in the air. As the cultural exchange day came to a close, students began to gather their things, reluctantly bidding farewell to the new friendships they had forged. Zara stood at her booth, surrounded by remnants of the day, empty plates and half-finished pastries. But her heart was full. She watched as Jax animatedly recounted the day's events to a group of students, his enthusiasm infectious. His stories of Earth and its quirky customs had not only entertained but had sparked genuine curiosity among his audience. Can you believe how much we learned? Zara said, approaching Jax and the group with a smile. I had no idea Earth had so many fascinating traditions. Right? And we haven't even scratched the surface. Jax replied, grinning widely. Next time, we should do a whole series of cultural exchanges. I want to learn more about your glory and customs. As Zara explained her family's harvest festival, a wave of excitement washed over her. We celebrate the changing of seasons with music, dance, and special dishes. It's a time for gathering and gratitude, she said, her voice warm with pride. That sounds amazing. Count me in, Jax replied, his eyes gleaming. We can bring our pets too. The mention of pets drew laughter, and the students began to reminisce about the memorable chaos of Pet Day. I never thought a Rottweiler could cause so much mayhem, a Vreth student chuckled. But I've never had so much fun. Or a corn snake slithering away during a presentation. Another added, grinning as they shared their favorite moments. Zara felt a warmth spread through her chest. This was more than just a shared experience. It was the foundation of a new community, a mosaic of cultures where each piece added richness to the whole. As the group continued to talk, the professor approached, her 3 eyes shimmering with approval. You've all done exceptionally well today. It's heartening to see such enthusiasm for learning about one another, she said, her tone a blend of pride and warmth. Thank you, Professor, Zara replied, her heart swelling with gratitude. This has been a transformative experience for all of us. Indeed, she agreed, her gaze shifting to Jax and the others. It's not just about sharing food or games. It's about understanding our differences and finding common ground. Today, you've all taken a significant step toward that understanding. As the sun set completely, the classroom lights flickered on, illuminating the faces of students who had once felt like strangers. Zara felt a sense of hope. Hope for the friendships that had blossomed, for the barriers that had fallen, and for the future of their diverse academy. Let's make this a regular event, Tarek suggested, his enthusiasm infectious. We can rotate themes each time. Pets, music, food, everything. That's a great idea, Jax chimed in. And we can all bring something unique to the table, literally. The room erupted in cheers as students nodded in agreement, excitedly brainstorming ideas for their next gathering. Zara felt a surge of inspiration. What if we invited other species to join us? We could learn from even more cultures. Jax's eyes lit up. That's brilliant. The more, the merrier. As they discussed plans and ideas, Zara realized how far they had come since the first day of class. The Deathworlders had initially seemed so different, but through their pets and stories, they had woven a tapestry of shared experiences that transcended their backgrounds. As the night wore on and students began to filter out, Zara lingered, reluctant to leave the warmth of this newfound community. Jax caught her eye, his smile wide. Today was just the beginning, Zara. I can't wait to see where we go from here. Me too, she replied, her heart full of hope and excitement for the adventures that lay ahead. Together, they would navigate the vast universe of knowledge and friendship, proving that no matter the differences, connection was always within reach. As Zara walked out into the cool evening air, she felt a sense of belonging that she had never experienced before. The stars twinkled overhead, a reminder that in this galaxy of differences, they were all united by a shared journey, a journey of discovery, friendship, and understanding that would only continue to grow.